Josh. Spinning back fist missed.
Kicked him in his butt for doing it.
Warburton seems to...
Robert's nice left elbow there by Robert.
Wait for control and position very well
Rob's
here
looking
and
at the
unleashing. Got to watch that knee
Strong
there.
ground and pound. Rob McCrum's taking a good look at this.
Comes forward. Good teep.
Big uppercut.
Big uppercut. And look at the ground and pound. About 10 unanswered shots.
The Griphouse Gym in Glasgow has become synonymous with emerging talent. Such talent as Joanne Calderwood and Robert Whiteford have come through the gym. So why is it so popular with UFC talent? Gym owner Guy Ramsey tells us why.
The Griphouse kind of got its timing right. And when I say the Griphouse, I need to include the newer gym that James Dolan runs, Higher Level, because it's been absolutely instrumental in getting these guys to the real kind of peak of where MMA is at currently in Scotland. I think we just got our critical mass right in terms of coaching talent. We've got the best guys in the country for Muay Thai, the best guys for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the best guys at fusing the sport. Paul McVeigh, five-time Cage Warriors world champion. James Dolan, it doesn't need an introduction. Dean Riley, who's the kind of the technical guy behind the scenes, absolutely phenomenal at putting it all together, which is the most important bit, obviously, for MMA. The days of being a good striker versus a good grappler are gone. They're history. You've now got hybrid MMA athletes that are well-rounded. Because the skills base is here, we can do that. And then you've got like the next level of specialists, which is like Paul and James, they just have an eye for how to get the best out of their athlete. Like, they don't try and carve guys out of stone. Everybody's different, and they'll work like individual planning, individual strategies and training for them. You've got the kind of the role model effect, if you like, particularly for, I suppose, like the female side with fighters like Joe coming out. It's always a little weird. Things go in fads, and you see that in gyms and workouts and all these kind of things. Something that's been fairly kind of eternal and consistent is fighting of various forms. What's happened probably more so is not people have thought, oh, I'm going to get into MMA, but you're talking about kids that maybe did a bit of karate, a bit of judo, a bit of taekwondo. They've always had a wee thing going on for martial arts. Have now found this like awesome sport where you can do it all. And I think that's what's really kind of magnetised and made it big. Without a doubt, Stevie Day is a bit of a classic example. Stevie Day is a total success story for a guy who was basically kind of walking away from the sport because it's so hard to be a full-time fighter. A lot of people don't realise this, like the paychecks aren't that big in fighting. The faith in the coaching talent is now there. People realise that I could rock up to a gym in Clipburn, a gym in Glasgow, and end up in the UFC, really? And like, yeah, actually, really. Whereas if you said that 5 years ago, people are pipe dream.
Scotland and the United Kingdom as a whole has seen the growth of MMA as very steady. With no television contractor in the 1990s and a lack of media coverage, the UK fell behind, whereas in the United States the sport took off. In the turn of the millennium, however, things began to change. With more media exposure and due to the success of Manchester bruiser Michael Bisping in UFC, and more promotion of healthy living in places like this can bring MMA to the public eye. Now BT Sport has a contract with UFC, bringing all the subscribers the latest action from the Octagon. But more importantly, success of fighters from the British Isles has came both from here in Scotland and most notably here in the north of Glasgow. The Hydro hosted many events during the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and back in January, UFC owner Dana White announced that it would host its first UFC event. Success here could lead to future events by the American MMA company. Dana White announced to the legion of Scottish UFC fans that UFC would hold its first ever event here in Glasgow at the Hydro. It's been a long time coming for Scottish UFC fans, and Scottish fighters such as Joanne Calderwood, Robert Whiteford and the newly signed Stephen Ray are expected to feature on the card. The event will be held 1 week after the momentous featherweight title match between the Republic of Ireland's Conor McGregor and champion Jose Aldo at UFC 189 in Las Vegas. That match will heighten the interest in the sport from a British and Irish viewpoint. The event here will be broadcasted live in the United States on Fox Sports 1 and here in the United Kingdom on BT Sports. Its interest and participation of MMA is growing beyond belief, with more people involved in the sport for active competition or just a way to increase healthy living. The sport is growing massively here in Scotland, and Scotland is known now to produce more UFC, more MMA talent than ever before. Scotland's fighting spirit is alive and well here in the squared circle or in the octagon. Daylin Docherty, UWS News, the Griphouse Gym in Glasgow.